Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is TWiT Live special number 279, recorded Monday, March 21st, 2016. Apple's spring 2016 announcement. TWiT Live specials are brought to you by Carbonite. Keep your business safe this year. Protect files on your computer or server with automatic cloud backup from Carbonite. Try it free without a credit card at Carbonite.com today and use the offer code TWiT to get 2 free bonus months when you decide to buy. Hello, everybody. Leo Laporte here. Joining me at the table as we get ready for Apple's keynote from One Infinite Loop, Alex Lindsay of the Pixel Corps, and of course a regular host of MacBreak.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Nice
Good to be here.
See you. We weren't sure. We thought you might be in Cuba.
I thought I might be too, but I'm not.
Good. Their loss is our gain.
Oh, yeah.
Also here from iOS Today and Tech News Today, Megan Morrone, our iOS guru. Good to see you, Megan.
Good to see you.
She said, are you going to use your companion today? And I said, yes, I am.
Yes, we have iPad Pro, Mac, iPad Pro, Mac, iPad Pro.
I have an iPhone here somewhere.
And I would have had a Mac, but there was no room for another computer here, so I'm stuck with the phone.
Yeah.
Here.
So
It's all good.
this is unfortunately for Apple, and I'm sure they don't like this. This is one of those announcements where there's not going to be any surprises in terms of the hardware. We don't think anyway. We know there'll be a new iPhone, a 4-inch iPhone SE.
We're still trying to figure out what loop means.
I have some theories.
Oh, you do?
So, and we're going to have an iPad Pro that'll be a 10-inch iPad Pro.
Right.
And then I think we might hear some other things, but including watch bands. Remember the Milanese loop. So there's a play on words here because they're at One Infinite Loop. They're in the small auditorium. It's the smallest auditorium Apple uses for events, about 350 people in there. So that's a tight space. And then they have a small demo space upstairs from that. But yeah, the Milanese loop is also the pun there, right?
Right.
And a very interesting theory that maybe, we know they'll announce new bands, but maybe these bands will have sensors in the loop.
Oh, okay.
Like there was the one that just was released by the Google guy that has a heart.
A live core.
Yeah, a live core. Live core.
Yeah, a live core. That's Vic Gundutra's company. And so that's an FDA-approved device with heart monitoring.
Yeah, the first FDA-approved device.
Yeah, we know. I mean, it's a proof of concept that you could put something in the watch band. So I wonder if that's what in the loop means. That would be a triple play on words, right?
Right.
We'll see. I also think because tomorrow is a big day for Apple in court,
right.
Apple versus DOJ, that we'll see some commentary on that.
I think so. I feel like they have to use this opportunity to make their case.
Mm-hmm.
They moved the date for this event up a week to be today. They were going to do it last week.
Right.
And at least the rumors say. And I think that that's exactly what happened. They said, we want one last chance to make our case.
Let everybody say all the things they're going to say before the court.
Yeah.
So there's not another week for the FBI to respond or anybody else to do anything. We're going to get the last word.
It's almost like closing arguments, isn't it?
It is.
And do you think that's why they're using the smaller venue? Because they want their core, the people that care about them the most, that core audience there?
There's a lot of advantages to using kind of an internal. We work with a lot of corporations doing their streams, and there's a lot of advantages to working in an internal space because you can rehearse a lot longer. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more secure. It's a lot easier to keep things quiet.
And you don't have to reserve it ahead of time. They were able to jump the date forward a week without having to say to Moscone Center or Flint Center, hey, we're not going to use it that day. Is Nickelback playing on the 21st?
Right, and one of the things this may be one of the last. I mean, we may only see 1 or 2 times where Apple does any announcement that's not in their headquarters. As the new theater comes online, we should expect that they're never going to do another one that's public. They're never going to leave the loop.
One of the things that's changed in tomorrow's court date is the Department of Justice asked the judge on Wednesday to allow them to introduce witnesses and additional testimony. Apple speculates that they made that request because they're not comfortable with relying on their legal arguments in the case. They need something to buttress these case. Apple's going to bring its crypto expert, Eric Neuenschwander. He's their product security and privacy manager, and the manager of Apple's global privacy and law enforcement compliance team, Lisa Ali. Lisa is the person who has to handle the interface between law enforcement. FBI is going to bring 2 agents the two that filed declarations about the case. So that will be 1 o'clock Pacific tomorrow afternoon. Of course, it's in California, the hearing. 1 o'clock Pacific, which means that they will be handing out tickets to a small courtroom starting at 7:30 a.m.
Is it first come, first serve?
I believe it is. And then you'll have to go through the security procedure at the court, which is quite strict. And
Well,
they say it
that's
might
pretty
take
common.
as long as 7 to 8 hours to get the courtroom filled.
Wow.
Magistrate Judge Sherry Pym says we're gonna start at 1, regardless of whether everybody's seated. There is an overflow room that holds hundreds of other people. So.
Right.
The stream is not live yet, although they were earlier playing music from Beats One and using the stream as a way to promote Beats One.
Hey, we got a lot of viewers. I mean,
They've taken that bug down. They had a little bug down that said Beats One, but it still sounds like, maybe they're going to start on time here. We remind you, you can show the screen. We remind you that if you want to watch the stream yourself without our commentary, Apple is streaming this, although you have to have an HLS-capable browser, which includes, besides Safari on Macintosh, Microsoft's Edge on Windows 10, the Edge browser, not Chrome.
or the Apple TV.
Or an Apple TV. That's how we're going to be pulling it in. And so what you're watching here on TWiT, as usual, is our commentary on Apple's event. And sometimes people complain they want to hear Apple. I expect Tim Cook will start the proceedings with a statement about the court case, but let's listen in. 40 and 40. Oh. We're going to start with the video, I think. This is, of course, when Apple was founded. A reminder of Apple's heritage. Makes me wonder if Woz will be in the audience today. He's in town for Silicon Valley's Comic-Con.
I like the little Newton scribbled out.
Acknowledging my mistake.
It's nice they show the rainbow of death. Earbuds. Why did they show April 1st, 2016?
Something's coming big.
Something on April Fool's Day? That's an interesting thing. This is not April 1st, obviously.
Or that might be the April
Apple
Fool's.
CEO on stage.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to our town hall on the Infinite Loop campus. Normally, we don't spend a lot of time looking back, but yes, we are about to celebrate Apple's 40th birthday, April 1st.
That's the birthday.
That video lists some of the amazing products and epic moments in our history and reminds us just how many times Apple has changed the world. Recently, we passed a major milestone that no one could have ever imagined. There are now more than 1 billion Apple devices in use around the world. This is an incredible milestone for us and an indicator of how much impact Apple has on people around the world. Our products are such an important part of people's daily lives, and with that comes a significant responsibility. So before we get started today, I'd like to address something that I know is on the minds of many people this morning. We built the iPhone for you, our customers, and we know that it is a deeply personal device. For many of us, the iPhone is an extension of ourselves. About a month ago, we asked Americans across the country to join in a conversation. We need to decide as a nation how much power the government should have over our data and over our privacy. I've been humbled and deeply grateful for the outpouring of support that we've received from Americans across the country from all walks of life. We did not expect to be in this position at odds with our own government, but we believe strongly that we have a responsibility to help you protect your data and protect your privacy. We owe it to our customers and we owe it to our country. This is an issue that impacts all of us, and we will not shrink from this responsibility.
You can see what a small house it is.
Yes, you hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sustained applause on this.
Okay. So let's get back to why you're here this morning.
That was
Okay.
brief. Briefer
Because
than I
so
thought.
many people use our products every day,
That was appropriate.
we
That bodes
understand
well for a short
that
event.
we have an opportunity and a responsibility to impact things for the better. So we want to get started this morning by talking about two initiatives where we are working hard to leave the world better than we found it. We'd like to start with the environment, and I'd like to invite Lisa Jackson up to tell you what we're doing to preserve and protect the environment. Lisa?
This is formerly with the EPA and is currently in charge of Apple's environmental issues.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, you know, just like everything we do at Apple, when we think about the environment, we think about innovation. You see, we want to change the world for the better. And we think there's no greater challenge in the world than our changing climate. Now, the solution is energy efficiency and
She
renewable
was
energy.
administrator of the U.S.
And the time for
Environmental
action
Protection Agency
is right
from
now.
2009 through 2013.
So 2
When she
years
joined
ago,
Apple.
we told you about our ambitious goal, one that we hope others will adopt. We told you that our goal was to be
EPA for 16
100%
years.
renewable in 100% of our operations worldwide. That's all of our offices, all of our retail stores, and every single one of our data centers. So 2 years later, how are we doing? Well,
Yeah.
currently 93% of our facilities worldwide run on renewable energy.
Apple always uses these events as an opportunity to, in some way, promote Apple, whether it's success in sales or
Right.
And just last year, we
This is the
reached
first
our
time
goal
I
of
can
using
see that. I've seen them
100%
spend this much
renewable
time on
power to power our operations in the
environment.
United
Yeah.
States, as well as our offices and stores.
Well, I think this is I think we're seeing some of the impact of Tim Cook. I mean, he's really comfortable being an MC, and he's really just like handing it off to people as quickly as possible,
Now, in some places,
and
we're able
as
to
well
purchase
as
renewable
focusing
energy
really on how
right
Apple
from
can
the
make a
grid, from
difference.
existing sources. But that's not always
very
possible,
different
which
Apple
has
under,
led
Tim.
us to some
Yeah.
pretty innovative solutions.
Jobs was
in Sichuan
forced
province,
kicking and
China,
screaming by
we found a way
Greenpeace
to
to
build a
pay
40
any attention at all
megawatt
to the
solar
environment.
farm without disturbing the local population. Yaks.
That's the local population,
The
apparently.
innovation is in building a system that allows for electricity generation and hay production for the local yak ranchers. That solar project is producing more than enough electricity to power our 34 retail stores and our 19 offices in the country. That makes our facilities there carbon neutral. In Singapore,
So really,
where
it's
there's
an
not
offset.
enough room to put
They're
solar
not
panels on the ground,
transferring that
we look
energy
up.
from the yaks to
Solar
America.
arrays on more than
From the yaks.
From the yak farm.
rooftops will cover the electricity
Transferring
Look at that,
energy
though.
of
from
our
yaks.
offices
Look at all
and
those
our
solar
future
panels.
stores. We're really proud to be 100% renewable in Singapore.
This is an
We're
initiative
also
all
really
of the big
proud of
tech
the fact
companies
that
are
100%
pursuing. Google's also
of our
doing
data
this,
centers
Facebook.
are powered by clean sources of energy like the sun.
We forget how
wind,
much power these
and
operations centers use.
Now think for a second about what that means.
Partly it's expense,
It means
too,
every
because
time you send an
renewable
iMessage,
resources, water
make
power,
a
a lot less
FaceTime
expensive.
video call,
Especially when you're pulling that kind of power.
or
Right.
ask Siri a question,
So you
can feel
build
really
you build
good
these
about
data centers
reducing
somewhere where you
your
can't do
impact
this,
on the
like
environment.
Oregon.
Right.
Now let's talk about another way that we're reducing our impact on the environment, and that's by protecting forests that produce the paper we use, especially for our packaging. You see, we believe
I
that
always feel
paper,
guilty when I
like
open those
energy, can
beautiful
be a renewable resource.
boxes and
So
think
we're
about all
proud
of
to
the-
announce
I usually
that
order
today,
like the Amazon frustration
99%
free.
of
I
our
do too, and
packaging comes from
Apple really
paper
loves
that
to
is
have that
recycled
elaborate
or
packaging.
is coming from sustainably managed forests.
think that makes customers feel better.
This is especially important as we continue our move to all paper packaging. But we're not stopping there. Through our partnership with the Conservation Fund, we've permanently preserved over 36,000 acres of working forests in Maine and North Carolina. And we're partnering with World Wildlife Fund to improve the management of up to 1 million acres in China. You see, our goal is to add to the world's supply of responsibly sourced paper rather than take from it. Now, while we're focused on conservation, let me tell you about another way we're working to preserve our planet's resources. And that's through reuse and recycling. You see, we've worked really hard to make sure our products don't end up in places like this. And we think the best way to do that is to have them be reused. That's why we design our products to last. And we're happy to say that thanks to their durability, the vast majority of iPhones that we get back end up being reused, including the phones we get back from our iPhone upgrade and
If you're just tuning in, you're
programs.
watching Apple's live event from
But
their
at
campus
some
in
point, even
Cupertino.
our products need to be recycled.
Right now we're
Many
watching Lisa
recycling
Jackson, who's
systems
Apple's
today waste
Director
much
of
of the
Environmental
material they
Policy,
collect,
former
so it can't
EPA
be reused.
administrator.
We think it's time.
She was brought
for
in
a new
2013 to help Apple
We
do a
put an
better job
incredible
of
amount of
protecting
energy
the
into
environment.
designing the best products in the world. And we've put that same kind of energy into thinking about what happens when they can no longer be used. Let me introduce you to a pretty cool R&D project. We call him Liam.
We call him Liam?
Some kind of robot.
Uh-oh.
The iPhone is the result of years of innovation.
So we are
But true
expecting new
innovation
iPhone, a
means
new
considering what
iPad,
happens to a
new
product
Apple
at
bands.
every stage of its life cycle.
There is a question mark. Maybe we'll see new MacBooks.
Meet
some other one more
Liam.
thing product.
When it's time, Liam deconstructs your iPhone. Parts are detected and removed and separated.
Wow.
So that's a
The
recycling
materials
robot.
inside those
Wow.
parts can be repurposed to rescue cobalt and lithium from the battery, separate the gold and copper in the camera, extract silver and platinum from the main logic board,
It has been one of the criticisms of Apple
materials
and
in your
frankly
iPhone
all of these
can live on.
lozenges, these glass lozenges
Because
we
of the
use, that they're not very
world
recyclable.
resources.
They take some special
Some
treatment.
things
It turns out they
Something-
take a machine.
Yeah, and something an average plant's not going to do. So good reason. And Apple does
That's
encourage
really-
you to bring your phones back to Apple.
Well, and I think that because you don't have to worry about it working, that's why you can really have a machine.
Tim, Phil Schiller.
It's pretty cool, right? There's no other machine in the world that can do what Liam can do, and it was conceived and designed by Apple engineers right here in California. The things we've learned from this project will help us make even bigger strides in the area of reuse and recycling as we go forward. As you saw in the video, Liam separates the iPhone into its components. This allows us
Wonder
to
how many
recover the
Liams there
materials,
are.
high-quality materials.
There's gotta be quite
and
a few,
reintegrate
right?
them into the global
I want a
supply.
picture of that.
And that
There's one in the back
saves
of every
that.
Yeah,
Apple
but just
store.
So that tungsten from the iPhone
I'm
alert
sure it's in
module
China.
can be used to make a precision cutting tool. And the silver from the motherboard
noticed
can
it-
be used in a solar panel. Now,
Said
ultimately,
it's
our
designed
goal
in
is to
California,
create
but it doesn't exist in
breakthroughs that
California.
allow us to
Sure,
use
they're all
those
in China,
high-quality
yeah.
materials in our own
You
products.
got to put something in those containers that you're
Reuse and recycling
shipping
is
to
so
the
important.
U.S. when they go back.
And that's where you can come in. With Apple Renew, you can recycle your devices easily and quickly in a way that's safe for your data and safe for the planet. All you have to do is take them into an Apple retail
Is this
store.
all devices? I'm not clear.
Or send them
I
to
guess
us
so.
for free by visiting apple.com/recycling to print a prepaid.
This really
mailing
responds
label.
to the issue that normal
We're
recyclers
making
just
great
can't handle the
progress in
stuff
our
they grind
environmental
up,
efforts.
they incinerate
We
it.
have
There's
a lot
nothing they
more
can do
to
with it.
And we promise to keep you updated along the way.
Renee Ritchie
Now
has a
back
great
to
seat.
Tim.
I'm looking at his Instagram feed. He's in the second row, right,
Thank you, Lisa.
almost right behind Tim Cook and Phil Schiller. Probably, a third of the audience is
Powering
Apple employees.
on 100% renewable
typically in these
energy
events.
is an incredibly ambitious and bold objective, but we are determined to meet it, and we hope others will join us. The second initiative we'd like to talk about this morning is health. With the launch of ResearchKit last year, we've seen that Apple technology can have a positive impact on people's health. And to tell us about some progress in this area, I'd like to invite up Jeff Williams.
Jeff was sitting right next to Phil Schiller, third in a row there. He's the COO at Apple. He's their new COO, guy who replaced Tim Cook.
Last year, we introduced Research Kit, and our goal was to use technology to solve some of the biggest problems facing medical research. We wanted to make it easier for people to participate in research studies, and we wanted to make it easier to gather accurate and frequent data from the devices we're all already carrying in our hands. So what happened? Virtually overnight, the research studies that we launched became some of the largest in history, with tens of thousands of people signing up. Like in this Parkinson's study, which became the largest Parkinson's study in history in less than 24 hours.
You know, in a way, this extends Tim Cook's comments. There's a message here as well, is that Apple's a good corporate citizen, that Apple is good for America, good for the environment, good for health.
And the health also underlines the need for encryption, the need for privacy. All of those things are...
App actually discovered asthma triggers from all 50 states. But more important than any of that,
all part of the argument for tomorrow.
Researchers are gaining insights that just weren't possible before. Take diabetes. You and I know diabetes is type 1 and type 2, but Mass General's study of type 2 diabetes found that some people respond completely differently to therapies than others, supporting the theory that there are actually subtypes of type 2 diabetes, helping pave the way for precision medicine for the future. Some of the world's most respected institutions have released research kit studies.
I had a conversation with a geneticist talking about, eventually, all those side effects are because it's not matched to you genetically, and being able to have a fingerprint of you and being able to match that directly is something.
I'd like to show you a video to tell you more about it.
This really helps, gives you lots of data. Although I don't know.
Sample rate is hugely important.
Yeah. Research Kit was created with the goal of improving medical research. A year later, we're seeing app developers, doctors, and even patients take these ideas and make them more powerful than we could have ever dreamed.
We can detect autism as early as 18 months old, but the median age that a child in the US is diagnosed with autism is 5 years old. So we need a radical new solution.
If autism is diagnosed early, it can have significant benefits for the child. The point of Autism and Beyond is to help engage parents in a research kit study, but more importantly, it's to eventually develop a tool that they can use at home with their child to screen for autism.
We show the child videos, and we use the front-facing camera to record the child's reaction to these videos. And then we have algorithms that then can tell us about the child's emotions and other behaviors. So we have a chance to understand child development in a completely new way.
When you have large numbers of people participating in research, your insights into the condition increase exponentially. With Research Kit, we're getting day-by-day assessments on how people are doing.
Parkinson's, it's a disease that slows you down. And exercise will make you feel better, is what I've come to learn. What I'm trying to do lately is use the app before I exercise and then afterward to see how exercise might forestall the progression of it, because it's not curable at the moment.
Now with Empower app, we're getting information that can be used to personalize the care that patients receive.
If we could bring research and care together and really bridge that gap, we could help people live
Interesting that they showed the
iPhone
in use here again, emphasizing the importance of privacy, but also the importance of the iPhone itself.
Right.
As more than just a
first of all in the back of my mind.
toy.
Am I going to have a seizure while I'm driving?
Well, and as you have it around, have it all the time. And of course, this underlines if they're going to be adding some kind of medical
The Apple Watch app
additions to the watch.
Research app to use the Apple Watch.
If there's one thread to what's going on these days, it's big data. And these devices, watches and phones, are really good for collecting data,
The research
obviously.
that they're doing is exciting because they're trying to find a predictor. Having that would be amazing because I would know, hey, this is going to happen. You have plenty of time to get to safety. It's like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, you really feel that this is Tim Cook's
is no
initiative.
longer just about research. People are using apps to learn about themselves in a way that they couldn't before, to create a better life for themselves in terms of
He's been
their
much more
own
focused
health.
on impact, Apple's overall impact, rather than just its technology.
More importantly, it's laid the foundation to transform care.
What's really
It's good for
amazing
business,
about
but
an
it's,
iPhone
you know,
is you have it in your pocket.
Can't deny it's a good
You don't need
thing.
any special equipment.
Yeah.
Here's the phone.
It's good that businesses are focused on it. You look at, I mean, they're doing this. Salesforce has its 111. There's all kinds of other. I think pushing corporations, I mean, them doing it themselves, I think is a good.
Well, and technology is key to these tools and to the creation, collection of the data, but also to the analysis of the data. These technology companies really do need to step up for this. This is good.
You know, when we introduced ResearchKit, our goal was simply to improve medical research, and we thought our work was largely done. But what you probably saw in the film and what became clear to us later is the very same tools used to advance medical research can also be used to help people with their care. Let me give you an example. In the Parkinson's study, patients do tests several times a day on their iPhone, like the simple tap test you saw in the video, to assess their symptom levels. And researchers can see the symptom level across a range of days. And they can see this before and after medication. And there were lots of patients like patients A, where you can see that symptom levels improve post-medication. In other words, the medicine's working. But there were also a lot of patients like patient B, where post-medication, there's no improvement at all. Their symptom levels didn't change. In other words, the medicine's not working. The patient either needs a different dose or a different medication or maybe no medication at all. But today, neither the individual nor the caregiver has this information. And we think empowering people with data about their health is incredibly important.
This is
So
Apple
today,
COO Jeff
we're launching
Williams getting his moment on the
CareKit.
stage. I'm sure Apple, as you said, Tim Cook would like to have a role as an MC, bringing many Apple people up on stage.
CareKit is a framework to build apps that empower people to take a more active role in their care. And the very
It's interesting because you
CareKit
see
app
in some
being
ways
released today is for Parkinson's.
Tim's image
And it
in the
surfaces
executives
some of
as
that
well. They're
valuable
older, they're more
information
serious.
discussed, so people can
They're
start
not quite so
understanding better
trendy and
what
hipster.
affects their health.
Still untucked shirt.
And
We still
these
haven't seen Eddie Q or Craig Federighi or
began
Phil Schiller, the
using this
hip
app
trio.
with
They
their
may.
Parkinson's
But yeah, the
patients
COO with an untucked shirt.
so they can
Yeah.
have a more informed discussion about individualized
Shiny shirt,
treatments.
Yeah, but they're a bit older,
Let me
and
give you
I
another
think it's
example.
nice to see some gray hair.
Surgery. One of the things physicians tell us is that one of the most important things affecting outcome of surgery is actually what you do during the recovery process. Yet, we go from being monitored by a team of highly trained specialists using leading-edge technology.
Serenity
to being
does raise,
discharged
Caldwell on her
with this,
Twitter feed does raise it. She's
a
in
single
the
sheet of paper.
presentation today, raises an
This is
interesting
actually
point
what happens
that
pretty much across
while
the-
this is valuable
across the
for
country. This
collecting
is
data
your
and diagnosis,
list
it
of
might
things
also
to do,
raise the
things not
level
to
of
do, which days you're supposed to
paranoia
go
and
on.
health anxiety that
And
people who are wearing these
this
things.
is
A lot of doctors say, they're not in favor of all of the extra tests and measurements that people want because it often produces false positives and a health anxiety in a way that isn't beneficial.
Yeah, I think tracking is definitely causes anxiety, and you don't really know what to do with the data. I think that's kind of what he's trying to address. Like, here's the data, here's what you can do with it. With CareKit, it's making sense of the data.
Right.
It's really nice. It's got a symptom and measurement tracker where you can record information on your
hypochondriac's
progress.
dream.
You can record things
Well,
like
it's funny,
your temperature to monitor.
When we
for
used to work on
infection,
these events a
or
long time
people
ago,
using
and the saying was
accelerometer on
always,
the
you
iPhone
don't
to
measure what
study
matters, what you measure matters.
then
Interesting.
As soon as you decide to start
This is
measuring,
what I'm going
it's
to pay
going to become
attention to.
important.
That's you through this recovery process. And best of all, you can share this information with your physician who will take the results of how you're doing and they will dynamically update your
My
care
doctors
plan
aren't
so it
doing
changes
this. I
on
don't
the
know if
fly.
yours are.
Something
I don't know
just
anybody's
not
who are.
possible
I don't have any
with a
doctors.
sheet of
Yeah.
paper.
I should.
You need to get
Those
some.
are just
I haven't
two
had any for a long
examples
time.
Kind of
of
hypochondriac
CareKit
are
apps.
you?
There are others coming, and we think the possibilities here are
In
limitless.
Germany, they were like, who's
Now,
your regular physician?
A
I'm like,
word
I haven't
about
seen a physician in
privacy.
20 years.
Nothing is more sensitive than your
I see
health
emergency-
data.
I see
Ignorance
ER.
is bliss sometimes.
I see ER doctors every once in a
Yeah.
while.
And with
I
whom
think
you
you're
share
more
this
common than
information.
most.
CareKit, like ResearchKit, will be open source and it will be available in April.
So this is a new product for Apple, which is the second stage
We have been absolutely humbled and inspired by the response to Research Kit, and we can't wait to see what great apps get created with CareKit. Thank you. Back to Tim.
I'd love to know what doctors think of this. Boy, it feels so intimate. It feels like such a small stage, doesn't it?
It's amazing that in such a short period of time that Research Kit has had a profound impact on the broad area of medical research.
Our
hope is that
something we talk to our clients about a lot is that it's really hard to argue that you need more than 300 people in a room, for a live event that's going to be seen by millions.
The key is just streaming it, right?
Yeah, if you're streaming it effectively, there's not why do you need more people is the question, unless it's some kind of optical. You want to make it feel like a big party.
Yeah,
less than a year
announcing
ago,
the Apple Watch.
The Apple Watch
you want to make it big, but
the top
for the most part,
smartwatch in the
it's a
world.
better event for everyone.
But most importantly to us, customers love it. They found that it's not just useful, but it's become an essential
Apple
part
Watch
of their daily
#1
lives.
selling. I said
They love
smelling
being able
smartwatch.
to receive and
It
respond to
smells great.
messages
It's minty.
directly from their wrist.
It's not much of a
as well as
surprise.
track their activity.
These kinds
manage
of statistics
their
are
calendar,
so
navigate
vague
with
as to be
maps,
almost
and get
useless.
up-to-the-minute
I couldn't go back to a regular watch though. I do at times. So when I actually go back to my old watch when I'm overseas sometimes because I'm afraid of the battery.
And how it gives the watch
now we're
an
going to talk about
entirely new
bands.
look. One that's appropriate
This
for
has to
any
be a
purpose
great
or
profit center
occasion
for
or
Apple,
season.
but I give them credit
About
for
a
not
third of our
patenting
Apple Watch
Yeah,
wearers
the lugs,
regularly
yeah.
change their bands. Today we're introducing some brand new colors and a new band that's made from a whole different material. Our new woven nylon band.
Oh, these are the NATO bands that we've been talking about.
Except, the problem is too. I don't know. I want a NATO band. I want it to look like a NATO band. I don't want it to look like.
Woven nylon
Sure they can
band
get you
features
khaki.
a unique
No, but
layered
it's the
construction.
weave
in a
is too fine. It looks
variety
too
of
shiny.
vibrant
It looks too
colors.
nice to be a
I
NATO
think
band.
it's going to be incredibly popular. Also, there's new sport and leather bands in all new colors, and there's a stunning space black Milanese loop.
Yeah, we expected
It is
all of these.
absolutely beautiful. We're really excited about this new spring lineup, and we want even more people to be able to enjoy Apple Watch and what it can do for them. So beginning today, Apple Watch will start at just $299.
$50 price drop. That's the Apple Watch Sport, of course.
That's our
And I went with a
update
sport because
on
I knew I
Apple
got another one.
Watch. Now I'd like to talk about Apple
But puts it
TV,
on a par,
bringing
essentially,
all
with
new
the
capabilities to
top-of-the-line
biggest screen in
Fitbits.
your house. People
By the
are
way, that's it on
absolutely
Watch.
loving
Anybody who
the
thought
new
we'd see
Apple
more
TV.
Yeah.
stuff, that was it.
What was the whole new?
Now we go to
material?
TV.
Was it
That was the NATO
NATO
band.
band, nylon.
Yeah, nylon.
Last quarter,
okay.
we had the
Revolutionary.
largest sales ever for Apple TV.
5,000
Apps are
Apple
the future
TV
of
apps.
television. And this transition is well
Best
underway.
sales
I was bowling
ever.
last night.
In just a short period of time
On my
since
phone,
the Apple
on my
TV has
Apple
been
TV.
shipping, we have 5,000 apps.
From day
on the
one,
App
this was something
Store.
we wanted the Apple TV to do.
There's
It took them
amazing
so long to do
content
this.
apps to enjoy. All
It was
over
always
the
there. It
world.
was just a matter of.
Like this one from HBO Now, where you can watch the latest HBO shows whenever you want, wherever you want. Shows like Game of Thrones.
I
And
have found
Veep,
myself because I don't have
and of course,
cable. I get
Silicon
those
Valley.
subscriptions. I have HBO Now. I have Showtime. I
And
have.
NCAA March Madness Live, just in time, where you can watch 2 live tournament games
This has been
simultaneously.
pretty impressive,
This is
and I'm looking
exclusive
forward to
Apple
Major League
TV.
Baseball on this as
And
well.
you can also monitor the scores of the other games and quickly change
And
between
I
the
would
action.
imagine
And of course, there's a whole bunch of games to pick
that
from.
Tim Cook's a big
like
fan
this
of,
one from AG Drive.
NCAA.
Now, in addition to great
basketball.
video content and great games, there's a wide variety of other apps on the App Store, like Solar Walk 2, which turns your living room into a planetarium, and Brain Pop, which is a great educational
Tim
app
went to
for
Auburn
kids.
and is
And Grubhub, of course, you can order your
reputedly
favorite food and get it
very
delivered
much
right
an
to your
Auburn
home.
fan.
I talked to
Very
a
key for me.
developer, and he said this is
And
like
Cody,
this is
you can
literally
choose
to a
from the
developer like
internet's
the lottery.
best workouts. There's some
You know, like
great
if you get
ones.
picked here.
Yeah.
This is
You know,
just a
if you get
small
picked on it,
sample
if
of
Apple
what's
picks you on one of these
available
events to
on Apple
show
TV,
show off
much
what you're
more
doing, he
is
said it's
coming.
just like you
Yeah.
can literally the
Now,
rest of your year
tvOS
is done.
powers the Apple TV, and at the heart of the Apple TV experience is Siri. With Siri, you can just ask for something great to watch, like show me movies with Kevin Hart.
Really?
And there it is.
That's
Pick
what
your
you chose.
I would have
In
chosen
looking
the Scarlet
for a movie
Pimpernel.
or TV show, Siri searches the popular apps.
Which, by the way, is
so
now
you don't
available.
have
1980s
to.
one with Anthony Andrews.
We've added some great content.
Good to know.
Still in SD.
Something after
Siri
House of
to
Cards is
search.
done.
We've got more coming, and we'll keep adding more over time.
I checked every month for like 2 years.
Now, we've got some other great features coming to
Sitting there
Apple
just,
TV.
Siri, is Scarlet Pimpernel
like
available yet?
Folders.
Folders.
Now you can organize your apps on your
Hallelujah.
home screen just like you want to.
That's a big.
I don't have that many yet.
No, but with 5,000 apps, you can see quickly we're heading towards it.
So you can now use your voice to enter text on the screen.
Oh.
This includes usernames and passwords.
We knew this, of
You're
course.
really
This
gonna
was in
love
the beta, so
Yeah.
uppercase Y, asterisk, Z.
Siri for
There's
the
Renee. I saw Renee.
any app
Renee
that
spotting.
you want, or any type of app that you want. And now you can access your entire iCloud photo library, including live photos, right on your big screen.
That's nice.
Oh.
All of this is available
Today.
as a free update
Quick.
beginning today.
Quick.
Yeah.
That's Apple
Fire
TV.
up our Apple TV. Oh, wait a minute. We're busy watching the stream. Don't do it now.
Now I'd
That's
like to
what
talk
we're watching
about
this on.
iPhone. iPhone is the most loved smartphone in the world. And today we're welcoming a new member to the iPhone family. And to tell you all about it, I'd like to invite up Greg Joswick. Greg?
Jaws. They're getting everybody up here.
Our customers are loving the new iPhone 6S and 6S Plus.
Get a little hipper.
And while the vast majority of our customers prefer these larger display iPhones, we're here today to talk about a smaller iPhone. Our 4-inch iPhones are actually an important part of our lineup. This last year, we sold over 30 million 4-inch iPhones.
What?
That's a lot of phones. Put it in perspective, it took us
the
about
4 and
2.5
what must
years
have been
to
a
sell that
4S.
many iPhones when we first started from our entire lineup. So why are people buying 4-inch iPhones?
three-year-old
Well, there's
iPhone.
2 reasons. First, for some people, they simply love smaller phones.
Yeah.
They want the most compact iPhone design. Second, we found that for a lot of these customers,
It's too
it's
expensive.
their first iPhone. Whether they're switching from Android or it's their first smartphone, it's the first time they're experiencing iOS and our hardware and software integration and our
4 inches, the 5.
amazing ecosystem.
See the 5S. Sorry.
And in some
4s
countries
are,
like China, it's the
3.5
majority of
inches.
these
Hard to
customers
believe.
who it's their very
That's
first
what I want
iPhone.
next.
Let's go
So some
smaller.
people asked us, some people even pleaded with us,
Thank you,
please keep the 4-inch products in our lineup. Well, today we're going to do just that, and we're going to make it a whole lot better. And as you may have heard, we're calling it the iPhone SE.
As you may have heard. That's got to gall them.
Thanks
They
to
would-
Frank, who's
they
now
would-
fired.
Yeah, they would love to keep this a secret.
So let me show it to you. So we start with this beloved aluminum design, but we've made some beautiful refinements, including this gorgeous rose gold finish.
This is
We've
essentially
added matte chamfered
a
edges
rounded
and an inset stainless steel
5.
Apple logo, just like the iPhone 6S.
But not as rounded as
But
this.
it's on the inside where the iPhone SE really
Right.
shines. It's got advanced technologies that make this the most
So here's the
powerful
question.
4-inch
Is
phone
it-
ever. It's incredibly powerful,
Is
which
it the
makes it even
A9?
better to do
Is
the
it a
things that iPhone
6S?
customers want to do,
Or is it a
including playing the most
A8,
graphic-intensive games. So at the heart of the iPhone SE, of course,
A9.
is our chips.
So
our
this is
amazing
good
Apple
news.
A9
This
chip
means this is as capable as
with
your
its
6S.
embedded
Right.
M9 motion coprocessor. This means that the iPhone SE has the same processing performance as the iPhone
That's
6S,
significant.
That's
which
great.
is literally double the speed
Also, the
of
M9
the iPhone
means
5S.
it means always on.
And the iPhone
Siri,
SE
I
also
think.
has the same incredible graphics performance as the iPhone 6S, which is 3 times faster than the iPhone 5S. And the embedded M9 motion coprocessor is always on. So it enables
it
all
is.
kinds of
Right.
features like tracking your fitness all day. But it also allows you to use Hey Siri. So hands-free, you can say
So this
things
has
like
all
this.
the features of the 6S except maybe
Hey Siri, how do you feel about recycling?
3D touch.
Noted, none of
I
our
love the Apple Renew program, but Liam really tears me apart.
Oh, Liam's got his little mention.
That's for Lisa. So even though it has all these new capabilities, And it's so much more powerful than the iPhone 5S. The iPhone SE delivers incredible battery improvements across the board.
It's going to be incredible.
And of course, people love taking photos with their iPhones more than any other phone or camera. So we wanted to give it our most advanced camera system. So we've given it our incredible 12-megapixel iSight camera with focus pixels.
So this is the iPhone 6S camera.
And we have, of course, that image signal processor from the A9 that enables all kinds of great features like the panorama pictures up to 62 megapixels.
So it really is a no-compromise,
but also
smaller
improvements to video,
iPhone.
slow-mo, time-lapse, and of course your photos.
And I guess 3D touch
means
isn't
you can
enough
take incredible pictures like
feature
this and this.
That's
I don't know what you're thinking, but that is not Phil Schiller skateboarding to work. It looks just like him though. And the
that looks like the hills
iPhone
of
SE can capture live photos.
On the kind of way to the
beach. Your still photos and have them come to life. And our front-facing FaceTime HD camera, we've given the Retina Flash. What that means is you want to take a selfie in low light, we're able to drive the display 3 times brighter than normal in order to flash the True Tone flash for you, so you get a picture like this instead of the dark selfie. You can even capture 4K video. And just like the iPhone 6S, you can edit up to 2 simultaneous streams of 4K video with iMovie right on the iPhone SE. We've also given it great wireless capabilities. We now have LTE speeds that are 50% faster than the iPhone 5S. And we've added more LTE bands so you have better global roaming. And of course, high fidelity call quality with voice over LTE. And we've given it high-speed Wi-Fi as well with 802.11ac, which is 3 times faster than the iPhone 5S. And high-quality Wi-Fi calling is also supported.
They're definitely saying if you still have a 5S, this
now,
is
it has
your phone.
Touch ID to keep the contents of your iPhone secure, but also quickly available to you. It's just a touch of your finger. And now you can make easy, secure, and private payments with Apple Pay built in.
It'll be interesting to see what the price point is on this, because it pretty much has.
The key.
Really, you're only making a decision on price.
NFC radio and a secure
screen
element
size
inside of the iPhone SE.
Yeah, that's good though.
They launched Apple Pay in these countries, and we most
needed
recently
to make
rolled it
it
out in
a
China,
full-
where the response was absolutely
peer to
fantastic.
the
We had over
existing
3 million cards added in the first 72 hours alone. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, the iPhone SE meets our really high environmental standards. It is, of course, highly recyclable aluminum and glass, but it's got other recyclable components and materials as well, which both Lisa and Liam loves.
So speculation
and it's free
was
from that naughty list of
$450
environmentally
on this.
unfriendly materials as well. So as you can see, we've added an incredible array of advanced technologies to the iPhone SE. And it's really
That would make it a
design,
very attractive
which
phone.
makes it the most powerful 4-inch phone ever. It really is an amazing.
I don't think it'll do that. I don't think they'll do that. But man, that's like scorched earth.
So the
price.
iPhone SE, what does it cost? Well, we're going to start the price of the iPhone SE at only $399.
That's a 16 gig model.
16 gigabyte, that's killer.
The one you don't want.
Yeah.
But I think people buying this may be satisfied with that.
I'm buying 5.
Price
That's the company. I mean, this is the company
That's the
phone.
company
we
phone.
have a higher capacity 64 gigabyte model
$500.
for just $499. And if you're on a two-year subsidized service contract, you get the iPhone SE for free.
Yeah, but nobody
but of
does
course,
that.
we know installment plans have become incredibly popular, and the iPhone SE now starts at just $17 per month without a service contract.
I think this is
So the iPhone SE joins our incredible lineup of iPhones with the iPhone 6, 6 Plus,
It really,
6S, and 6S Plus.
with that kind of performance,
it's the strongest iPhone lineup we've ever had.
really takes a lot of the oxygen
we'll
out of
begin
the
taking orders
cell
for the
phone
iPhone
market.
SE this Thursday, March 24th.
Order Thursday
and it'll be
for
available
delivery
next week, March the 31st.
end of the month.
We'll be shipping first in these countries, but many more will quickly follow. We'll be in more than 100 countries by the end of May. So that's the iPhone SE. So whether this is your first iPhone or you just love smaller phones, we think you're going to love it. But I got more. Fundamentally important, of course, to the iPhone experience is iOS. And iOS is the most advanced mobile operating system in the world. And of course, our latest version, iOS 9, was released this past fall with incredible features as well as improvements to the foundation of iOS.
iOS product
and iOS
thing, so.
9 today is running on 80% of our active iOS devices.
This is something Microsoft would love. This kind of penetration.
The latest version of Android.
Google would love.
Also released this past fall, which is running on 2%.
It's not quite fair, of course, because Google doesn't control the updates as Apple does.
And for the last couple of months, we've been
Google
testing
made that choice.
And
well,
publicly
they started
and
with it in
previewing
control
iOS
and then they gave up
9.3,
quickly.
which is one of the biggest dot releases
They were more
we've
interested
ever
in
done.
getting Android on a lot of different
And it adds some new innovations as well as improvements to a wide range of apps. So I'd like to share some of the highlights with you. Let's start with night shift. So studies have shown that exposure to blue light in the evening can actually make it harder for you to fall asleep at night. So night shift automatically shifts the colors of the display to the warmer
Did they ever
end of
give
the
the
spectrum,
guys that created this
which may help you sleep better at night.
on the hack
So how's
any
that
kind
work?
of...
Well, when it's enabled,
they've been
night
Sherlocked,
shift
my
uses
friend.
your iOS device's clock as well as its geolocation to know when it's sunset in your location. And then it automatically shifts the color of
the
that
Android's doing this
display
too.
to the warmer end of the spectrum, which
I feel like
reduces
this is
the
kind
blue
of
light,
giving in to
which may help you sleep better.
kind of horse
It's a
pucky,
really cool feature.
to be honest with you. But,
Yeah, maybe we
people want
shouldn't
it.
use our
Notes.
phones
Let's talk
after a
about
certain
notes.
time.
Well,
We
I
don't
just
want
I
any
don't
at all.
know.
I admit I use mine right before I go to bed.
Hundreds of millions of people
It
every
doesn't-
day.
it doesn't affect
and
my sleep.
customers are loving
How do you know?
the newly redesigned
I know,
Notes
maybe
app
not.
on iOS 9. Well, today we're adding the ability to further protect your most
Encrypt
personal
your
notes with a passcode or fingerprint.
Yeah.
Health. The Health app gives users a quick and easy dashboard to their health and fitness data. And there are already over 2,500 apps that provide data into the Health app. And we want to
This
make
has
it
been a
easier
problem
for customers
because
to
I think a
find
lot of people
the
just
right
put
app
that
for
Health
their
app
health and
in
fitness
an
needs.
Apple folder and
So
never
we've
look
added
at it.
great app suggestions right into the Health app so you could easily add data to your
I haven't done
dashboard.
anything with it. I should.
News. We introduced Apple News with iOS 9, and it's become the source of news for over 50 million active users. And in iOS 9, we want to make it even faster and more personalized. So we're adding top stories to make it easier to track your news on your iPhone or iPad. And for you, now suggest trending topics as well as editor's picks. CarPlay. CarPlay is the safer, smarter
So
way
I guess
to use your
Ford's
iPhone
first
in your car.
CarPlay's coming out in June.
And every
And the
major
Escape.
car brand
Escape is gonna
has
be,
committed to integrate CarPlay into their cars. And already more than 100 car models have been announced with CarPlay support.
I think the Honda
More and more
Civic
keep coming.
already has it. Is that
So you can
possible?
expect to see
Josh
this
Windish,
in
one of our
more and
editors,
more
just bought one.
places. And with iOS 9.3, we've added even more useful features to CarPlay.
I've stalled buying a new
For instance, your Apple Music
new car.
experience gets
I was
better
getting ready.
with New and For You, which provides songs, artists, albums, handpicked by experts, as well as selections based on your own preferences. And Maps gets even better with the Nearby feature, which allows you to find gas, parking, restaurants, and more.
I had
just
a
a
new
tap of your
experience. In Austin, I had a
Education.
the Apple Maps was
iPad
accurate, and the
with
Google
its
Maps was sending me to
powerful
the wrong part of town.
Interesting.
Opens up
There's a new
and
one.
more engaging
I think
ways.
Apple. I think the problems
And
they
with
had early
iOS
on are gone.
9.3, using iPads in the classroom
Takes a while.
is
but
even easier. and
Google had a
more
big head
powerful.
start. Apple
With
caught
a
up quickly.
preview of a new suite of software and
Turns out you throw $1 billion
capabilities
at it.
that are designed specifically for students, teachers, and administrators. So that's just some of the highlights of iOS 9.3. We think it's turned out really great, and it's going to make the best mobile experience even better. And it's available as a free update for all of you today.
Ah, right away.
That's iOS 9.3.
Not at the moment.
and
I'm just checking on my
SE.
iPhone. I don't see it.
Thank you
but
very much.
Still on 9.2.1.
Thank you.
Apple was pretty disciplined. I'm expecting this to be exactly 60 minutes.
It's a great
Or within a couple
iOS.
minutes.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to sleeping better. And I'm incredibly excited about iPhone SE. Many, many customers have asked for this, and I think they're really going to love it.
So now iPad, I would guess.
Next up is iPad. We believe that iPad is the perfect expression of the future of personal computing. We took a giant step in this direction last fall with the introduction of the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And since then, many people are telling us that the iPad Pro has become their primary computing device. We've got some exciting news for you today. And to tell you all about it, I'd like to invite up Phil Schiller. Phil?
Well, you nailed it when you said Tim is the MC. He hasn't spent much time on stage at all.
Just boom, 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 hands
you.
it off.
Well, good morning, everyone. I couldn't be more excited to be the one to be able to tell you all about iPad. Customers really have fallen in love with the new iPad Pro in the 6 months that it's been on the market. They're in love with the huge 12.9-inch Retina display, all its performance, all the capabilities, the speaker system, and the Apple Pencil. That is a true revolutionary breakthrough. We're hearing so much from customers around the world. Customers like John Lasseter, Chief Creative Officer
Megan and I know him.
Pixar and Disney Animation Studios. John had this to say: the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil are the closest we've ever been able to get in the digital world to actually drawing
Seeing
on
that
paper.
video early on with the iPad Pro of the
Or
Pixar
Stephen Gates,
staff.
head of
Seeing
design at Citi. At Citi, iPad Pro is truly transforming how we work. Our design team has incorporated iPad Pro into their
I have to
daily
admit, I am really getting to the point now
allowing
with my
them to
iPad that I
create,
pull out my computer and I go, oh, pull it out the
share
truck.
ideas and ways.
I feel like it's a
Now
niche
it's
product,
Baldwin,
though.
head
It's
of
not
design at
a
Rafa.
it's not a mass product.
iPad Pro
It's a companion
goes with me
device.
everywhere.
Nice,
I mean, I use my laptop.
Including designing the latest cycling
I use my
collection.
laptop for hardcore stuff, but in general communication now, I'm just having my iPad out.
Really?
I run half my company with an iPhone.
You know, it'd be great, though, if we're a little bit smaller.
It is a revolutionary device.
That would be
And
great.
So that's why today we're so excited to introduce you to, for the first time, the second member of the iPad Pro family.
So cute.
An entirely new iPad Pro based around a 9.7-inch Retina display.
This is
and
exactly
it weighs less than 1 pound.
what the rumor mill expected.
It is an iPad
I think this
Pro
might
through
be an
and
interesting
through.
product. I
But
don't know.
why make a second iPad Pro that's smaller? Well, there are two really great reasons. First, we started iPad with a 9.7-inch display for a very good reason. It's a large enough display to get all of your work done, but small and light enough to carry with you everywhere you go.
I really want an
People have
iPad Pro
loved
Mini.
the size, and from the
Really do.
beginning,
The Apple
it
Store-
remained
Apple
the most
Store is
popular
closed, which
iPad
would
size.
generally
In
indicate
fact,
that
I'm really happy to tell you
there
that
may be some
today we
action
sold
today
over
for this
200 million iPads
Remember,
with a
you can't order the
9.7-inch
new iPhone till
display.
Thursday.
So for all of these customers, when they learn about the features of iPad Pro, they'll all see that it is their ultimate upgrade.
How much?
There's a second group of people that would love to reach with this new iPad Pro. Windows users.
Yeah, good
You may
luck.
not know this, but the majority of people who come to an iPad Pro are coming from a Windows PC, a desktop, or a notebook.
You mean replacing
Now, of
their
course,
Windows
we all
PC?
know Windows PCs were originally conceived
With
of
an iPad
before
Pro?
there was
I
an
don't know.
internet, before there was social media, before there were app stores.
All right, I got to see what
this
the
is,
Rod has to say about
an
this.
amazing statistic. There are over 600 million PCs in use today that are over 5 years old. This is really sad.
He's been snarking the whole.
It really is. These people, yes, could really, really benefit from an iPad Pro.
I think for the
When they see the
most people
features
using a
and performance
PC,
and
the
capabilities
vast majority of them could really get away with an iPad Pro.
designed for our modern
Probably the way my
digital
mom uses it. I
lifestyle.
can't,
Exactly.
You know, it's just.
Well, many of
Yeah,
them
my
will
mom
find
loves it.
their
I got
ultimate
her one for
PC
Christmas.
My mom has an iPad Pro
Yeah,
also.
she loves it.
Best of all, they can get access to all those incredible apps in the App Store. And we're so happy to tell you there are now over 1 million apps in the App Store designed for iPad, and they work beautifully on iPad Pro. So let me tell you a lot more about this brand new iPad Pro. First, it has a Pro display. It starts with the same materials used in the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, an oxide TFT display driven by a custom Apple timing controller. That custom controller has a variable refresh rate, so it runs really fast but power efficient. We use our photo alignment technology to align the individual crystals so that it has an incredible contrast ratio and sharp text. But there's so much more to this display. It is 40% less reflective than an iPad Air 2. At just 1.8% reflectivity, it is the lowest reflectivity of any tablet. And if you're a pro working, you really appreciate that low reflectivity. And it's brighter, too, 25% brighter than an iPad Air 2. It puts out 500 nits of light, which makes it the brightest tablet available. And it has a very wide color gamut. It uses the digital cinema spec DCI P3, which gives it a 25% greater color saturation than iPad Air 2. In so many ways, this is the best display we've ever built for an iPad. In addition, it supports two really breakthrough features. The first you've heard about from JAWS. It works with night shift. So that as the sun goes down, The brightness dims a bit, the blue light wavelengths get reduced, and some people find that makes it easier to get to sleep. But the second
That's the
feature
first thing I'd turn off,
is
to
a
be honest with
breakthrough
you.
that's
You
never
got
appeared
this
on any
great
device
color
before.
gamut, now you're going to make it yellow.
We call it a true tone display. A true tone display measures the color temperature of ambient light and adjusts this display
Now, is that something you'd
to
want
match.
as a
I heard
photo
out there.
or
Somebody
video
already
editor?
gets
Do you
this.
want to have
This is great.
the
It
ambient
has
light
two
affect the color on the screen?
Ambient light sensors that measure both
As long as you
brightness
can lock
and
it,
color
it's
temperature.
great.
So
It
how
does
does
make
that
a difference.
work?
So have a color accurate view of things. You do need to take into
Because
account
the ambient light
the ambient,
changes what you're seeing.
It changes how you perceive it. So you generally pay attention to that when you're setting up a color accurate display. But you'd want to be able to lock it, because what you don't want it to do is keep on changing. That's the thing that really becomes annoying.
Takes on a warm tone. But now you use a digital device. Digital devices
I think for
emit
reading,
light,
this is
and
great.
that light has the same color temperature
Yeah.
no matter where it is. So the color cast isn't right. It doesn't match paper white. Well, except now if it is a true tone display, it does.
I'm just afraid they're going to
No
go
matter
too far
where
with
you
it.
use it automatically
Like it'll
senses
be
the
like this
color
weird
temperature of
color
light.
every time you're using
Becomes
it.
warmer or cooler.
I have a
It
feeling
matches
I'd probably
paper
turn it
white,
off pretty
and it's really
quickly.
natural to use. Once you use a display with this true tone technology,
I don't
you
think
never
this
want
is
to go
in the.
back
Is
to
this
old
in the
technology again.
big
It is
iPad
quite
Pro?
a breakthrough.
I don't remember them talking about this.
No. But the big iPad Pro is hard to read in bed.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
not-
what it's. This is more like a book size.
Next, it has a pro audio system. There's 4 speakers working in the stereo system that adjust automatically the frequencies between highs and lows depending on how you hold it. It also puts out twice the audio volume of an iPad Air 2. But best of all, this has incredible level of performance unlike any other mobile device. It has our fastest chip ever, an A9X. This is our 3rd generation 64-bit chip, over 3 billion transistors. It's made with a 3D FinFET architecture. If you don't know what that is, it is unbelievably state-of-the-art, and people are noticing. TechRadar wrote, iPad Pro packs powerful enough hardware to be a genuine laptop replacement, with more than enough grunt in terms of processor and graphics performance. And it has a ton of grunt.
When you're quoting
12
TechRadar,
cores of
you're
graphics
kind of
delivering over half a
I don't know, maybe it's
teraflop
just a changing
of
media
graphics
scene. I
power.
don't know.
That's more than an Xbox 360 in a device that you hold in the palm of your hands. It's incredible for
first
gaming.
blog I'd quote.
It's also incredible for professional applications, modeling, rendering, just fly on the new iPad Pro. And it's absolutely enough performance for the great iOS 9 features for multitasking, when you can have apps side by side and video streaming in picture-in-picture. It is an incredibly powerful chip. It also, as Jaws told you, includes our embedded M9 motion coprocessor. With that, apps that use our built-in sensors are instantly calibrated and up and running quickly. It also supports Hey Siri. I said it that way because I know it always sets off people's phones when I do it.
Thank you.
This means you can talk to your iPad, and you can
Jaws
ask it to
did
open
not,
your mail
by the
and
way,
check your
pause.
messages. You can talk to your iPad and ask it to go to a website or look up a contact, and it can do it all automatically for you.
It'd be interesting to see if this kickstarts
The
iPad
iPad Pro
sales, which have
supports a
been
great
declining
line of
steadily
Pro
for years.
accessories. It's a smart keyboard designed specifically
The
for
market
the
is
size
kind of spoken on the
of that
iPad.
9.
Yeah,
I'm
people
not sure
need a
exactly
good
what they're
read.
saying. Yeah, but they need something to get them back.
I think a lot of people have. My kids are still happy with the
Yeah,
ones
it's
that
not
have
that
been.
people don't like it. They just
I mean, my
got it.
iPad 1 only died like 3 months ago. I mean, they've been using it quite happily until then.
For example, my favorite feature, Command Tab, so I can switch between my multitasking applications just like on my desktop Mac. And it supports the greatest accessory Apple has ever made, the pencil. This is an amazing device. It's a breakthrough, and people are really falling in love with it. Christopher Finn of Creative Block wrote, let me be completely clear.
Wow, are
this
they
is
really
the best digital drawing tool there has ever been. We couldn't agree more.
I guess it's the it's the death of
It
PC
is
Magazine and
amazing
Macworld,
precise
but they're not
need
dead.
some-
But
yeah.
It senses pressure as well as the tilt angle for amazing
Well, it
drawing.
also gives benefit to
Draw just
blogs
like
who
you do
are
on paper, by
going to say
putting
nice things about
hands
Apple.
on the iPad, because
You know?
it's built-in palm rejection software. And it recognizes the pencil as well as your fingertips, so you can use both simultaneously to advanced techniques for your drawings, your illustrations. People love drawing and doing illustrations on it. They also like taking notes on it. It's an incredible device. There are other Pro accessories as well. A great new line of Lightning adapters. For example, a new Lightning SD card reader that's incredibly fast. And this is a really powerful accessory, a USB card reader. Sure, it lets you plug in your camera, which many of us do, but because it's powered, you can use a lot of powered USB devices. For example, you can plug in an Ethernet adapter to get on your corporate network. And for those of you who are podcasters, you can plug in a microphone and do your podcast right from an iPad Pro.
Has there ever been an Ethernet connection for an iPad? I think that's a first, isn't it?
I have never. Are you?
Customers love taking photos with their iPads as well.
They're really trying to move it to the laptop market,
but more importantly, they can use the camera for work as well.
It's one of the number one reasons we don't use iPads for things is because we're like, oh, we need to have an Ethernet connection.
Interesting.
You can use it to see constellations in the night sky. There are so many great uses for that camera. And in the new iPad Pro, we put our most advanced camera yet.
Revolutionize everything.
It's a 12-megapixel eyesight camera with its focus pixels,
12
true
megapixels.
tone flash.
So this is now bringing the
really annoying
camera
at concerts.
this is bringing the camera up to the iPhone spec. It looks like
a whole bunch of people are going to hold up their iPad at the next Pharrell concert.
Something for a long time I really didn't understand why they didn't do this.
4K video with it. So right on your iPad
It's a great
Pro,
video. I mean, the viewfinder is so great. I know it's annoying. Don't do it at concerts, folks, or your kids' performances. But
well, so the thing is if you really want to get crazy with this, I mean, you could have 3 iPads with big viewfinders that are connected via Ethernet back to a switcher. You could be like, you know, that could be really fascinating.
You see what we do. This is the best upgrade ever for every iPad owner. And
there's
it is
market
the
opportunity
ultimate
there.
PC replacement.
That's the key phrase there.
Old PCs in the world.
For every iPad owner, the
everything
best
we do,
upgrade.
the team
They're
works
really
hard
trying to get
to make it
all those people that are sitting there like waiting.
Mercury-free LED backlit display, arsenic-free display glass.
I have to say, it's a pretty
beryllium-free,
compelling upgrade.
and highly recyclable glass and aluminum.
And only $399.
The iPad Pro comes in 4 metal finishes: silver, gold, space gray.
What are we guessing? $699?
For the first time, rose gold as well.
The rumors were $699, but it's $100 more at the base model. The question is the memory configurations.
And there are great cases.
They were the rumors were there will be only 2, much like the iPad Pro.
Right.
32 gigs and 128 gigs.
With a 9.7-inch Retina display, what will it cost? Well, we're really excited to offer a 32-gigabyte iPad Pro for just $599.
Yeah. So
that's $200 less expensive than the 12.9-inch, and hopefully we can reach a lot more customers.
That's a good point. I mean, if you've
been
looking at the big iPad Pro,
for $749, and for the first time ever in an iOS device, there's a configuration now.
256 gigs.
Gigabyte of storage.
And that's $150 more.
Still.
Is that something people want?
Oh yeah.
Orders begin.
If I was given the choice between this bigger one and that one, I would have picked that one.
They also start shipping next week.
Available
with 256
for order.
We are so
Thursday,
excited about this
delivery
iPad Pro. The team's
end of the
worked
month.
so hard on it. We really love it, and we've created a brief video.
I think
to
Apple's
tell you
getting
just
much
a little
more
bit
aggressive about
it.
the pricing.
So there you have it, exactly as we expected. An iPhone SE and an iPhone Pro in the 10-inch variety. Our live special is brought to you by Carbonite. Without automatic cloud backup, everything on your computer is at risk from hackers, from viruses, from disaster. Well, frankly, even from human error. Few things are as bad for business as downtime. Why take the risk? Carbonite Cloud Backup protects the files that keep your business or your home running smoothly. No wonder 1.5 million people trust Carbonite. And I just saw that they've restored now 50 billion files that would have been lost forever without Carbonite backup. From spreadsheets and emails to digital photos and music. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com. No credit card required. Use the offer code TWiT and 2 free bonus months when you decide to buy. Carbonite, you got to back it up to get it back. Do it right with Carbonite, the offer code TWiT. We thank them for their support of our TWiT Live coverage of Apple's Spring 2016 event. Apple running their own ad right now, although some might argue that the whole event is an Apple ad.
Color, contrast, and clarity.
This is the new iPad Pro, a 10-inch, and really is the new iPad.
Wider color gamut for even more
pencil availability. Is there anything from the iPad Air that's missing in this?
Which responds and adapts to the light around you.
No reason to do an Air anymore. This replaces the Air.
Sensors measure the intensity and color temperature of your environment, and then adjust.
And some interesting features that are upgrades from the iPad Pro, the previous iPad Pro, including adjusting the ambient light sensor.
Do you find the iPad Air looks small when you go from the Pro? Because when I look at my iPad Air, everything looks small, the same way I look at a 4-inch iPhone.
Well, I make the jump to the iPad Mini at home, the new Mini, and Yeah, no, I think it's the right tool for the right job. The mini I could throw into my.
I still want a mini with a pencil. Like, I still think there's going to be. I
have a feeling
this fall. I think this is the beginning. Right? I think that we get by the fall. I bet you we get a mini with a pencil because you just really want something you can sketch on.
While the touch system recognizes your hand, fingers, and Apple Pencil individually.
No mention of an LTE option.
When you rest your hand on the screen,
can't imagine
it ignores input generated by your palm and forearm, letting you work as freely as you would on a piece of paper. The Smart Keyboard was designed to add even more flexibility. It works seamlessly with iOS 9 to add unique.
Seems like a good compromise for people who want to stay with a MacBook of some kind, but want something portable that they can travel with.
Right.
The iPad Pro display.
I'd really like to see, and we'll have, I'm sure after the event, people will have a chance to go to the demo room and try the keyboard, because that's going to be a much smaller keyboard.
But no changes to the current iPad Pro keyboard.
No.
Just
not that they
smaller.
mentioned.
The new iPad Pro gives everyone the ability.
I guess
I will say for that, that's the one thing with the Pro is you feel like you have enough room to type.
It's a real keyboard.
It's a real keyboard, yeah.
And things you've never done before. It's where we believe.
Yeah, I think this is
personal computing.
You know, I always feel this way at every Apple event. This is one I want to buy. Not so much the iPhone SE, but.
So these are our iPad Pros now in 2 sizes, starting at just $599, the 9.7s, and the 12.9 also now gets that new 256 gigabyte configuration, so our highest end customers are going to love that. This is the best lineup we've ever had of iPads by far. It starts
it replaces the Air,
iPad Mini at $269.
Well, they still have the Air 2.
The iPad Air 2, which used to be our highest end 9.7-inch iPad, is now reduced to $100 to just $399. So a lot of customers are going to like that. And the iPad Pros start at just $599. So that's our news on iPad. Back to you, Tim.
All right, now here's the question. Is there one more thing? Maybe a new MacBook? Maybe not.
Think whether you've
It's
already
11 o'clock
have an
exactly.
iPad,
This is their
or
1
whether
hour
it's
mark.
time for you to replace that PC laptop. The iPad Pro is an amazing choice.
Recently,
that
they've
allows
been
you to
really
do so
hitting
much
about an
more.
hour with plus or minus 5 minutes.
So you've seen some incredible products this morning and some great things on 2 initiatives that are very important to us, like our work to curtail climate change by powering Apple on 100% renewable energy, and CareKit, transforming the way individuals manage their health. Cool new bands for Apple Watch, now starting at just $299. A great update for Apple TV with folders and expanded use of both Siri and dictation. The iPhone SE, the most powerful 4-inch phone ever created. An iPad Pro, so powerful and so capable, it truly is the future of personal computing. We're always pushing forward and innovating and doing things that positively affect many people. It's something that Apple has been doing for over 40 years. This is probably the last product introduction in the town hall that you're sitting in today. We've had a lot of important announcements here.
Interesting.
It's a very special place with lots of memories. The iPod was announced in this room, and so was the App Store. We have lots of great memories here. Next year, in 2017, we're looking forward to moving.
Spaceship Campus. Now, the next Apple event is
to our new campus.
Is the iPhone 7, but that'll be a big announcement.
Yeah,
so
that'll
it won't
be
there.
We expect that we're going to have many, many opportunities to invite all of you to join us there.
Not all of us.
We're looking
forward some of us.
to
Who knows? Every day is a new day, Leo.
see what's in store.
Someday will be important enough.
He's just rubbing it in, isn't it?
I'd like to thank
I think
everybody.
he's saying we're going to invite everyone except for
Special
Leo.
Thanks to everyone at Apple who made today possible. Members of the press,
The
we have a
iPod socks
hands-on
were
area
introduced in
across
this
the
room,
hall in the
and I
piano
was there.
bar. And so
piano
please
bar.
go get
Did
your
you say
hands
that?
on these great products.
There's a
Thank you
piano
very
bar.
much.
All right, that wraps it up. Exactly an hour. Tim Cook taking off, and the small crowd. There's Craig Federighi. He did not get his day, and his hair did not get his day in the sun, nor did Eddie Q. But we did see some new faces, including Apple's environmental policy person who took the stage to talk about Apple's environmental initiatives.
Lisa Jackson.
Lisa Jackson. I think that was as much to get a woman on the stage as to talk about environment.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah. And, of course, Apple's new COO got to join in the fun as well. A new iPhone SE, 4-inch. Thoughts?
I think it's going to be really
5
popular.
inch.
I mean,
did I say 4-inch?
4-inch, but it's 5.
It's 5. Is it 5?
It's 4 inches. 4 inches.
Good Lord, that's small.
But I think that, again, I look at it from a company that we're about to issue more phones, and it's the perfect thing for a company to get.
At that price point,
$399
for the 16 gig.
Because it's really someone's second phone. You know, it's something you want it to be small, you want it to be there, you want to have that. So I think that it becomes a great deal, you know, so for companies to do. And I think there's some people that really like the smaller form factor.
Right, and there's some people that really want to separate their work phone from their personal phone. Now that's becoming more important. The more personal information that we have on a regular phone, it makes sense to have a separate phone for work where you know in the back of your mind that, you know, your boss can always have access to anything on there. Maybe you don't want to have, you know, those two phones, so it makes sense to have a smaller.
And more to the point for Apple, they could finally get the 5S out of their product line and have kind of parity across all the iPhones with Apple Pay, with the cameras. I mean, it means iOS 9.3. It means that they have a kind of consistent product line just in a variety of sizes.
Well, and having that high quality at $399 start point really makes it difficult. If you're trying to sell a high-end Android phone, there's like not a lot of room to work with there to compete, to distinguish yourself, because there's all of those features are all built into that. It's really just screen size that you're giving up, and then not the stabilized camera. And not the screen size, but I think that's pretty much all you're giving up by getting the smaller phone for a lot less money.
Mm-hmm.
They did say that iOS 9.3 would come out today, the new iOS featuring the new night shift. Are you checking? I'm checking too.
Yep, not yet.
Not yet.
It's usually an hour from
takes
when
a
they
little
say.
time.
Yeah.
The new night shift, which takes the blue out of the screen for people who think that keeps them up at night. Am I just a skeptical person? I feel like that's a little bit of snake oil. Everybody talks about it.
I'll try it.
Yeah,
it'll look
I have
nice,
tried it. I mean, I've tried F-Lux and it's annoying because the screen looks like parchment paper. It's yellowed.
Yeah.
I think the new iPad is perhaps the biggest story here. It's the iPad Pro, undistinguished in name from its big brother. So I guess you just get two sizes, but distinguished by capabilities. It has a better camera than the big iPad Pro. It has new ambient light sensors that makes maybe pros be more interested in this for photo retouching, things like that.
Possibly. I just think that's gonna be so hard to get right. You know, I think that's the hard part. Is maybe they have, but I've never seen anyone do it very well. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's a better iPad than the big one. You know, I'd rather have it because I usually carry this one with another computer. I mean, I have a Retina or whatever that I'm typically using, MacBook Pro. I'd love to have the smaller one. I want to be able to draw.
Especially if you're using an Air 2 or you're using an older iPad, this might be, this is what Apple hopes, certainly drive people back to the market and bring iPad sales up a little bit. Both the iPhone SE and the new iPad Pro will be available for pre-order on Thursday and delivery March 31st. Pretty quick. Prices are favorable for the iPhone SE, $499. Is that right? $499 for the $399. $399 for the 16 gig version. The new iPad will start a little bit more expensive, $699 for a 32 gig version. There's also a 256 gig version of both iPad Pros
and Ethernet connections.
And Ethernet, which is. Well, it's an acknowledgement. If you're going to sell it as a laptop replacement, you've got to have
any mission-critical device has to be able to have a wired connection. I think, and that's not just so that is also for security as much as it is for a VPN on Ethernet is going to be your most secure solution if you're traveling.
That's a good point.
I actually pick my hotel rooms by whether they have an Ethernet connection. And so it means I could join a show like this.
Right. Yeah.
From an you can't you don't want to try to use a wireless connection for that, so it's exciting.
Yeah, and the 256 gig iPad Pro, the small one, it's $900. That was the same price as an iPhone.
Yeah,
the big iPhone.
Yeah, Good point. iOS 9.3 out today with some features we've already known about because of beta test. Apple TV will have a new OS also available today with some nice features, including the ability to organize your apps via folders. They announced there were 5,000 Apple TV apps already.
I think we're going to see by the end of the summer, possibly the beginning of the summer, I think we're going to see a 4K Apple TV. I think that, you know, they're building all these devices that shoot 4K. How can you not have an Apple TV?
It's an odd thing to leave out.
It's an odd, you know, unless it's just an update that it does. But I think that the chipset isn't there to do it in the current Apple TV. But I think that we're going to see it definitely by the fall. We're going to see a 4K Apple TV.
And you know, everybody stopped mentioning Apple's plans, which have been thwarted for years, to do streaming of live broadcast on Apple TV, to turn it into, in effect, a set-top box. Of course, the FCC has proposed new rules that would allow people to replace their cable TV set-top box with set-top boxes from third-party manufacturers. That would be a big opening for Apple.
Absolutely.
But no mention of any of that today. Really no surprises today at all. He even kicked off, as we expected, the event with a briefer mention than I expected of the court case, which resumes tomorrow between Apple and the Department of Justice. No new Macs, at least as far as I can tell, unless they...
I think new Macs at this point would be announced with a press release. I don't think they're going to...
It's a little disappointing because we know there's a new Intel processor, the Skylake processor, and MacBooks are due to be updated, as is the little MacBook, as are the MacBook Pros.
I think that, Apple's moved away from the marathon announcements they used to have and have been very disciplined to 1 hour. And I think that they're not going to give time to something that really is almost a rounding error at this point. I mean, they're doing great. They're selling more Macs than they ever did, but it's still a very, very small part of their market.
Yeah.
The price drop in the Apple Watch, didn't mention that. That was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, big deal. $50 drop for the Apple Sport. He didn't mention a drop for the stainless or the edition.
Yeah, $299 is what he said.
A $50 drop on the gold watch.
$950.
The Sport was $279. I mean, $379. Wasn't it $379?
Was it $370? I thought it was $350. So that's okay.
You bought it, so you would know.
I don't remember. I do not remember. And new bands. I was wrong about the in-the-loop, meaning sensors in the bands, although, as you mentioned, LiveCore is doing that. But new bands, the NATO band we expected, although, as you pointed out, Alex, a little bit too refined for a NATO
band. I mean, if you want a NATO band, you want it to look rough. You want it to be...
Not pink is what you're saying?
Well, just
or
not...
orange?
The whole, now it looks like we've taken it and we've made it Apple, but it's just like anyway.
I think it looks nice.
A black Milanese loop.
I think it's fine.
And some new leather colors as well for people like Rene Ritchie or band addicts. Not much mention of a new Watch OS, although there is one in the works. So no mention of a new Watch OS as far as I can tell. There you go. That's it. That's the Apple event.
Fairly predictable, but also
a
with
new
good
robot
details.
that can deconstruct iPhones.
That thing is so cool. They should do a lot more about that robot.
I like that robot.
I think they should have a conversation with the robot and talk to him about
I have very particular skills
yes. that I have acquired over large amounts of R&D.
Someone in the chat room asked who deconstructs the robot when we're done with him.
Well, he'll probably have one hopes, a longer lifespan than the iPhone will. Thank you to everybody watching live today. We appreciate it. We'll put this out as a TWiT Live special. Thanks to Megan Morrone of iOS Today and TNT. iOS Today coming up in about an hour. We'll kind of talk a little bit more about these new products and maybe some software that you can use. It was interesting. He said 1 million apps for the iPad, designed for the iPad now. Yeah. That's a big deal. Something, by the way, Android cannot compete with. Android tablet apps are woefully inadequate at this point. And to Alex Lindsay of the Pixel Corps, I'm so thrilled that you could be here today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
It's nice.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm on the road somewhere, but...
and we're not going to see you tomorrow for Mac Break Weekly, alas.
I have an event that became more complicated than I expected. So
we will talk more about this on Mac Break Weekly, and Andy Anako will be with us, as well as Jim Dalrymple. And Jim is at the event right now trying out the new devices, so we'll get there. We'll get his sense. Are there new iMacs? Is that something somebody... did they ship new iMacs? I think that was... a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Is that Good Night that they put up on the screen, or did you put that up on the screen, Jason? That's not me. Apple said Good Night, which apparently in Cupertino begins right around noon.
Well, if you're in Europe, it's Good Night.
It's Good Night in Europe. That's interesting, isn't it? Good night. So long. Well, from our TWiT Brickhouse studios in Petaluma, California, I'm Leo Laporte. We'll have to say good night to you, and thank you for joining us for this TWiT Live special. Thanks also to Carbonite, our sponsor for breaking news on TWiT. Carbonite online backup available right now for a free trial with no credit card, and you get 2 free bonus months when you use the offer code TWiT at Carbonite.com. You got to back it up to get it back. Do it right with Carbonite. Thanks, everybody. And if you're watching live, stay tuned. Triangulation up next. iOS Today a little bit later. Good night.